Chapter 1, Paris, Again. June 19th, Sunday *. Paris always had its magic. Even 30 years later, stepping onto its streets still felt like coming home. For me, it wasn't just a place, it was the beginning of everything. The city where Frank first held my hand on a cool spring night, where the future stretched out before us like the glittering Seine under moonlight. We were back, older now, but somehow more in love than ever. The years hadn't dulled it, they'd deepened it. Our day began at the metro station, gathering with the others for a cooking class. It was a marquee day, and Germaine was our guide through the bustling market streets. The produce gleamed like jewels, the scent of fresh herbs and bread drifting through the air. I'll admit, the market wasn't quite as exciting as I'd imagined, but what followed more than made up for it. Fred, the chef, and the owner, welcomed us warmly into his kitchen. His accent was thick, his enthusiasm thicker. He made us laugh, corrected our clumsy chopping, and poured more wine than strictly necessary. The atmosphere felt like a rehearsal dinner, a family celebration. Frank, always so thoughtful and composed, Katie, with her camera and quiet smile, Colleen and Jackson, arm in arm and glowing, Gretchen and her boyfriend, Conrad, whispering jokes in the corner. I would go back to Le Footist any day just to feel that joy again. Before the class, we'd slipped into a tiny cafe near the metro stop, Le Lion, tucked away by the Line 7 exit at Europe. There, I had the best Cosmopolitan of my life. I truly mean it. Sweet, citrusy, dangerously smooth. We sipped, laughed, and promised to return. Colleen and Gretchen capped off the afternoon with ice cream sundaes. In Paris, even the simplest treats tasted like heaven. Chapter 2, A Wedding in the Gardens. June 17th, Friday *. That morning, Paris shimmered with the kind of golden light that only the city knows how to summon. Frank and I had arranged to meet at our apart hotel in Place d'Italie, a humble but comfortable place nestled beside a shopping center that bustled with early shoppers and the scent of fresh baguettes. We had one mission: champagne and snacks for everyone. Something celebratory to have on hand while we got ready for what would become one of the most unforgettable days of my life. It was our 30th wedding anniversary, and today, I would marry Frank again. My hair appointment was at 11 o'clock at Frank Provost, a chic little salon with friendly stylists who treated me like royalty the moment I walked in. They washed and styled my hair with such care I nearly cried in the chair, overwhelmed by how much life and beauty could fit into this one city, this one day. Outside the salon, Gretchen and Conrad arrived, their hands full of surprises. A bouquet of delicate summer flowers and a boutonniere for Frank, soft whites and blush pinks. The stylist stepped outside just as I was admiring the arrangement. "C'est magnifique," she said, smiling. "Oh no," I laughed, touched by the moment. "I'm the one getting married." She blinked at me, then smiled again. I could see it in her eyes. Maybe she thought it strange for a woman my age to be renewing vows. But I didn't care. Love doesn't keep track of time. And neither does Paris. Back at the hotel, Gretchen worked her magic once more, just as she had on my wedding day 3 decades ago. In Colleen's room, with soft music playing and champagne glasses clinking, she applied my makeup, light, glowing, romantic. I wore a simple dress to the Luxembourg Gardens, where we planned to meet the photographer, saving my ceremony dress for just before the vows. The photographer was late, of course. But it hardly mattered. He arrived breathless and apologetic, all charm and creativity. I couldn't wait to see the pictures, to capture the moment we stood under the trees and said, "I still do." It was scorching, somewhere between 97 and 100 degrees, but I didn't feel the heat. Frank looked at me like he did when we first met, and suddenly I was 20 again, standing at the edge of forever. The officiant was a lovely woman, her voice soft yet strong. Frank had arranged for her to perform the entire ceremony in French. I didn't know every word, but I felt every one. Then he read his vows. Frank, my quiet romantic, pulled out a small card and spoke from his heart. His words melted into mine, and I felt tears start before I could stop them. Katie moved like a shadow behind the camera, capturing everything. Later, Frank would put together a slideshow, as he always did, full of the quiet, beautiful moments he noticed that the rest of us missed. After the ceremony, 2 vintage Citroën CV2s waited for us, light blue and cream-colored, charming as storybook illustrations. The drivers tipped their hats and invited us in for a 1-hour tour of the city. We passed landmarks we knew by heart: Notre Dame, the Seine, the wide boulevards glowing in the heat. Frank's plan, as always, had come together perfectly. The ride ended at the Trocadero, where we stepped out just in time for golden hour. Katie snapped a stunning photo of Frank and me in front of the Louvre Pyramid. I wore the black pantsuit he'd bought me at Nordstrom, a tailored, elegant piece that made me feel like a Parisian movie star. He wore tuxedo pants and a black shirt, looking effortlessly handsome. I was so proud to be his wife. So proud that after all these years, we still made time to celebrate.